chopping people up with axes. I'm like, whoa, okay. It's switching more from a revenge arc into a redemption arc, becoming a better person and making the world a better place. So what's up, guys? It's AAA or Alex's Anime Art, and I'm back with another video. And today we're going to be talking about one of the greatest anime series of all time, Vinland Saga, and I'm going to be giving you guys my overall thoughts and my honest takeaways from the series. And yeah, we're going to get into it. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of Vinland Saga. I don't know what you're doing if you haven't heard of Vinland Saga, but just a brief summary. It's a story during the age of Vikings that revolves around a young boy named Thorfinn that gets sucked down a rabbit hole of revenge because of the death of his father by a man named Askeladd. Yeah, and you can imagine where this revenge story would go. Very gruesome, very bloody, very violent. And I can admit, I was there for it. I was really there for it. Like, I understand how it can suck some people in. Like, a lot of it, like, because there is a good amount of surface level appeal. Like, in the first season, when you see all that stuff, you're like, dang, Vikings, like, doing savage things, chopping people up, Thorkel skewering people with spears, chopping people up with axes. I'm like, whoa, okay. So, like, I can get behind this. There, and you have to get out of that. You got to get out of that savage brain, that monkey brain. Like, there's a lot more to Vinland Saga when you actually take a look at it. Like, there are some deeper messages and there are some deeper themes going on. One of the themes that I'm thinking about is the love versus discrimination. I really liked how that religious man, Willibald, really kind of described that relationship between Ragnar and Prince Canute. He said it wasn't really love. It's just discrimination. Because Willibald pretty much described love as something that just exists, something that just happens, something that is non-discriminatory. Love is just love. It just exists. Love, it just does what it does. It doesn't choose anybody. Love doesn't hold anybody in higher regards. It really doesn't give anybody any sort of special treatment. Love simply just is. Love simply just exists, and that's what his thought was on it. And that was a theme that that's one that really sticks with me. That's one that I do keep thinking about a lot. And one of the other themes that's really big for me is that everybody is a slave to something, or Askeladd says that every man is a slave to something. Thorkel, slave to war. Thorfinn, slave to revenge. And there was a man in the story that had a slave too. Askeladd was he was pretty much describing this man. He was saying that how are you any better than this slave that you have when you're a slave to money? So you're not really any higher than her, but you treat yourself as if you are. You're still a slave to something. You're still bounded to something. You're still chained to something. You're not any better than her. And that's something that I really like that Askeladd touched on that, because that's pretty much for a lot of people in the series. A lot of the Vikings in general are slaves to war and violence, but I think Thorkel was like the personification of that. He was like the biggest example of being a slave to war, being a slave to violence, being a slave to running fades, throwing hands, really throwing spears and axes, but you get my point when I say that, y'all know what I'm talking about. And I really like Thorfinn's character progression. I really enjoy where it's going right now because it's switching more from a revenge arc into a redemption arc. Because you can see Thorfinn, he essentially Askeladd, like having him killed, having him clapped. That's really all he can think about. He probably doesn't even get sleep at night and still goes out onto the battlefield, bodying people. He's destroying families. He's killing fathers, a bunch of people that are just innocent and didn't even really do much. But it's not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to Thorfinn at all. He's just in a blind rage. He's driven by rage and revenge, and that's what he's bounded to. That's what he's shackled by. That is what Thorfinn is chained by. But we take a complete 180 in season 2. He's not even a slave to anything except being a slave physically. Like, the in terms of his mentality, he's not really a slave to anything. He's not shackled by anything. But now he's literally a slave because what else am I supposed to do? He's essentially just empty. There's nothing inside him. It's essentially just depression. My boy is mad, depressed. But also, I did like where, I can't remember who said it exactly right now, but when you have, someone said when you have nothing inside you, that's when you can actually end up adding something to yourself. That's when you have the most room to grow and add things to yourself. So I like that. See where I think I see where Thorfinn's character progression is going there, and I really like that. So he had a fake purpose, his quote unquote purpose, no purpose, and then he found like his true purpose. His purpose before, it was just conditional. He killed my father. I have to get great revenge. Rug was pretty much snatched from under him. No revenge anymore. You're like, what do I do now? He's not having the best of times, but he actually ends up just finding his true purpose, which is just becoming a better person and making the world a better place. And that's something that there are no conditions on that purpose that he has right now, because that's just something that is naturally going to happen, or something that you would naturally like do. Like, you're unconditionally going to want to make the world a better place and continue to grow as a person. This is something that is going to be unconditional for Thorfinn. Like, it's not going to take any sort of outside or external forces for him to do this. He's just going to do this now. He found that purpose within himself. It's something that is just unconditional. And that is one of the biggest things that I learned from Vinland Saga. One of my bigger takeaways is that your true purpose in life is kind of just, it's something that is unconditional. Like, you're not going to be driven by money. No one's going to motivate you to do it, or tell you to do anything. You're not going to have any actual societal pressure. You're just going to do it because you know deep down that it's the right thing to do. It's unconditional for him. His purpose now is unconditional. Making the world a better place is an unconditional purpose. And I think that's one thing that I found. Like, you have to have just like that unconditional purpose. Like, it's not something that anyone has to tell you to do. You just do it, and it's just going to be for the overall betterment of the world. It's not no harming anybody, nothing like that. It just comes from a genuine place, and that's where Thorfinn's at now. And that's why I'm really loving his character progression right now, because the metamorphosis it's just good, guys. You guys just need to watch it. The Thorfinn's like redemption arc it's good. It's really good. I know people are gonna probably bring up Zuko best redemption arc, but I don't know, man. I'm not entirely sure about that one. I don't know. For redemption arcs, Thorfinn is kind of Kind of. He's up there. I don't know, but yeah, those are my overall thoughts. My overall takeaways for like what Vinland Saga has right now. I'm still waiting for them episodes to pop up on Netflix and still waiting for the episodes to release because it's still just as entertaining to me even as the first season. So I'm gonna continue watching it, and yeah, I really love Vinland Saga. This is probably gonna end up in my top five, top three. Who knows? But Vinland Saga is definitely in my top 10 anime. Definitely one of my favorites, and I probably need to read the manga. But I'm gonna let you guys go, and I will see you in the next video. It's AAA or Alex's Anime Art, and I'm out.